Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are here today. Oh my. We are here and we are getting right into some things. We got some packing. We got some races to attend this week. Oh my. I-70. Oh my. Texas Motor Speedway. What could it be? What could we see? Anything but an infield tractor tire apparently is the case. Ladies and gentlemen, let me show you what I'm talking about. Oh my. Now, obviously, nobody cares about these infield tractor tires until someone or their favorite driver hits them. That's usually the case in what happens. That's usually always the case in what happens. And now since Darren Pittman hit one and it ruined his night in the 69K, we have to pay attention to this now. Which I mean, it's just we're going to get into the issue, but not just these tires and from the infield to the walls, we got a problem here, right? From the infield to the walls, because we had cars going out the park at Williams Grove, and this is something that I talked about after Riverside. You know, after High Limit had the Riverside issue, everybody wanted to start crying, "Oh my God, how could y'all allow these cars to race at Riverside with their chicken wire fence?" And I get that and all that, and cars shouldn't be going out of racetracks, but at Riverside, at least they were going out of the racetrack at 70 miles per hour, maybe, something like that. And I brought up in my talking points, guys, I'm sorry we're not Australia. We don't have lines drawn in the sand on what's acceptable for sprint car racing. But if we're going to start getting mad at tracks who don't have fences around them, why is nobody, and I said this at the time, why is nobody complaining about Williams Grove? They got a guardrail, or 3 and 4 at Port Royal, or any of these tracks that y'all love and care about so much. I mean, people care about Riverside. World of Outlaws is going to be there in a few weeks. It's going to be probably the best race of the year. 2-day show coming up at the end of October. But y'all wanted to trash little bitty Riverside down there for having a chicken wire fence, but y'all gave passes to these situations. Once again, this is just like safety in these cars, safety on these tracks, safety, period. Y'all don't care until you see it, and then I'm sure this will go away in a few months, just like the infield tractor tires do all the time. People complain about them all the time. But then once you see it, it goes out the park, and then you see it, and it's like, okay, well, everybody walked away. Nothing happened. This scenario is fine. It's not fine, obviously. I'm not saying that. Nobody says this is great. But once again, it just doesn't matter. The cars, we know for a fact if you just made these cars a little bit bigger, it would make everything so easier on everyone. It would be safer. It would be just more secure for people racing into the future of the sport. We don't care. We don't care. Only when it happens, thoughts and prayers. Or in this situation, there was no thoughts and prayers needed. It was funny, this video right here. It's kind of sideways. You can't really tell the true video. Good job, Westbrook. But this is John Westbrook rolling around in a wheelchair right now, showing you his race team that's destroyed. Zach Hampton driving this car. Man, I don't know what to say about Zach Hampton. I've said a lot of things about Zach Hampton in the past. This isn't going to be a situation where I'm going to trash Zach Hampton. But John Westbrook is rolling around this shop right here, ladies and gentlemen, and y'all may not know it, but that's because he is a guy who flipped out of the park in 1 and 2. So some people saw me, and to give you some context on there's the car, the wing down there, the 1W. I'm sure y'all saw it go out of the park twice with Zach Hampton behind the wheel. But this is a guy who's rolling around in this wheelchair right now because he flipped out of the park in 1 and 2 and landed in a certain way that caused him to be in this wheelchair that he rolls around in. And really, really good guy, really straight shooter, funny. I mean, everybody kind of seems to like him. He can get a little mouthy on social media, and people don't like what he has to say or think. But, I mean, at the same time, you got two cars. His whole operation is destroyed. Now, if there was a fence there, would it have came out any other way? Like for instance, if there was a fence instead of a wall to flip over, would it have crushed the car, caused more damage than we see here? Potentially. But that goes back to my Zach Hampton point, and I'm not going to trash Zach Hampton right now. He does really good videos for Dirt Tracker. So, outside of that, those videos are awesome. I mean, maybe crew chiefs are sometimes better for your skill set in society. So maybe that's the case here. But once again, multiple situations, multiple scenarios where things go bad. It's okay. It's not okay, but it is. We're gonna say we're sorry for the week, and this isn't a Williams Grove thing. This is a sport thing. There should be somebody coming in and doing something about this, setting some types of standards for not only the racetrack but who's allowed on the track to drive these cars. There's a pretty good post by Tanner Holmes talking about the situation here. He said he's never really, had an issue with tires until there is a tire. He says at the end, I personally believe the best solution is a massive berm around the bottom, similar to Knoxville, he references. But I come down here and I see all these comments banned in Australia. Our safety standards are a bit higher, though. All these standards of ways of acting and being in Australia, we have examples of things we could implement into our society, but we just do not do them. We do not do them. They have that bar that goes around the bottom of the seats. I learned that at the Triple X Chassis tour. You can go check it out. It'll be at the end of this video, potentially a suggested video. And there's a bar around the bottom of the where the seat is located, so that there's a little bit of a gap or some kind of style of bracing before the rear ends or the seat smashes into the ground. There's some kind of give. We don't mandate that. We don't have any kind of standard for the sport. And this is also an issue on what holds it back. That's why I still say to this day, I kind of idolize the Australian Speedway situation just because it's a little more professional. You go up to buy a beer, they cut your pit pass off. You think they did that at PA? If they did that, they'd sell less pit passes. Oh, my God, we're going to lose some money. How fast can we get the cars out? What's going to appease the big car owners? What do the big money tracks want to do? What do the sponsors say? No such thing as right versus wrong. Do I have an opinion on the Infield tractor tires? Yeah, there should be some standards. I mean, why are we using tractor tires? I don't know. Maybe the massive berm is the smart thing to do. Obviously, there's a lot of people in here saying massive berms require work. These people are lazy. Not necessarily Williams Grove, but I think that comment is based upon the entire scenario. Walls around the inside. Would you prefer that? Potentially, some do, some don't. Of course, some people are saying the good things about the tractor tires is what they did at Fulton here with the big blocks. The track was a little too bottom dominant, so they pushed the Infield tractor tires out, tried to widen the racetrack. That's a positive. I mean, once again, they only care about these tractor tires when your favorite driver hits them. Or a popular driver hits them. Just like they only seem to want to make change in NASCAR when Dale Earnhardt Sr. passed away. Is that what we're waiting for? Do we have to have some marquee guy? Really? I know old Westbrook's not enjoying it. Especially with the backstory of what I just told you about this guy. I mean, he just watched his car go out of the park in the same general area of where he went out and caused him to be in this wheelchair. By the way, I hope everybody went to Chase Johnson Racing and looked at Chase Johnson finally get to go outside for the first time in a month. That was really touching. Hopefully we'll do something to prevent those scenes from happening. Not just little bitty hockey pucks on the seat. Maybe we'll do something to the car for the first time in 40 years, 30 years. Maybe we'll do something, right? Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I did see an interesting thing for those who have planned to attend the final swing of the High Limits Racing Series. I tentatively plan to go to all three of these events, 4 if you count the double-dayer at Texas. But if you show up to any one of these races and you bring a unopened diapers or wipes, Your ticket will be upgraded to a free pit pass upgrade for the I-70 on Tuesday race, Wednesday Lucas Oil race, and Friday, Saturday race at Texas Motor Speedway. Nice little thing here. Of course, Hurricane Milton, I believe, is unprecedentedly big and is going to affect those in Florida. Hopefully everybody stays safe in that situation. Now, before we get out of here, there's something I wanted to talk about that has really been disturbing recently. Almost just as disturbing as how we really don't do anything. And that is this, ladies and gentlemen. This right here is a real thing. And I don't really know how to explain it. I can give you my testimony. I put on my Facebook page, Long Live the Chaz, the fact that there is literal evidence of cell phones reading our minds to show ads and no one cares is crazy. Once again, do we really care? Do we care? I mean, this week, that week, we don't care. We're worried about this, that, and the other. All the comments, some people are like, oh, really? You and I talked about this a few years ago. Yes, I talked about this. I talked about how we as people are somewhat we discharge an electrical pulse, and anything that is electrical, I said, your cell phone's proof that you can receive a signal and send a signal in the blink of an eye. Well, they figured out how to go next level here, ladies and gentlemen. One person came down here and said, this is a whole new level of conspiracy theory. Not a theory, it's happening. Happened to me and continues to happen, and now I'm seeing why. So what happened to me in my particular experience was I woke up one morning, brushed the teeth, was just doing some stuff, and I felt like a tooth pain. I didn't make no expressions. I didn't go, oh, my God. I just felt a tooth nagging me, and I didn't say anything to anybody. I didn't tell nobody. I didn't look on my phone. I didn't say what to do about tooth pain. I didn't do nothing. I just noticed I felt my tooth hurt. Day goes on. I ain't talked or told nobody my tooth hurts or anything. We're going to go out to dinner, me and this girl at the time. And I open up my phone, and I go to Google Maps to see what restaurants are in the area. So when I go on my phone to see what restaurants are in the area, I zoom out. And when I zoom out to see the distance to push, Mexican restaurants or whatever it was at the time, I see a H highlighted. And I'm like, what the hell is that? I've never seen an H highlighted on the maps. I'm a Google Map traveler. I got like 45 million views on Google Maps. If you want to follow me, it's Chaz. It's the Chaz on there. But anyway, I'm like, oh, it must be a hospital. So I click it because I'd never noticed it before. And it's the local dentistry office. So when I saw that, I was like, hey, babe, the phone has read my mind. She goes, what are you talking about? I'm like, my tooth has been hurting, and I ain't told you or anybody or searched it or nothing. I just zoomed out on my map, and it's highlighted the nearest local dentistry office. How did it do that unless it can read my mind? And so that's my personal experience of what's happened. And recently, I've kind of noticed with ads, it's done that as well. Because the other day I bought this new mic and I was second guessing, man, should I have bought a camera or something like that instead of the mic? I have a mic. This is a significant upgrade, but a camera to my phone would be a significant upgrade. They're not the same price. I was just thinking these things in my head after I purchased this microphone. Open my Facebook. All of a sudden, I start seeing ads for cameras. Once again, didn't search it, didn't look it up, didn't tell nobody. Just thought about it. And so now there is other videos surfacing of the proof and how this is actually possible. And I wanted to show y'all some of these that are actually possible. Here's one of them that kind of explains it. And it makes sense. It makes sense. Look at this.
Out for a while.
Really?
Yeah. They can measure EEG waves, like phones can measure EEG waves. And that basically can
EEG
borderline
waves.
read your thoughts.
Holy
and there's
crap.
So EEG waves.
a reason why you can get an ad for something and like you were thinking about it. Well, 5G couldn't penetrate deep enough into the cell. And that's why, so what would happen is when all these towers were put up, you'd see kids that were, they would get burns underneath their skin just because the graphene cooks them from the inside out.
So this is a video kind of explaining it. This was another one also that talks about how this is actually possible as well. When I saw this, I had to share it. I'm like, guys, this is like from my personal experience, and now this, and you go in the comment sections here, and people are agreeing this is actually happening.
A thought. You can literally be thinking about a bicycle and don't mention it, and you can open your phone up on Facebook, and what's the first suggestion you will see? A bicycle ad. And you wondering, I didn't talk about this. I thought it. Why isn't it in my phone? Because these things are reading the brain waves and pattern. Your brain waves is a sequence. It's like a sequel. It's a mathematical equation. If you build some type of software to read that mathematical equation, then
right,
you can translate it into the exact image.
And that's exactly what we do when we type a text message to somebody, or when this phone sends a signal or anything, or you make a phone call. Think about how fast that phone call's moving. Think about how fast those radio waves are moving for your AM, FM radios. Think about how quick those things are moving. You're telling me they don't understand things? Listen to this.
English that you needed to be, and I can tell you what you was thinking. See, I ain't been doing this on people for the longest. It's a movie called Eraser. Have y'all ever seen Eraser, where they had all this technology and can see through walls? I think Arnold Schwarzenegger played in it, I believe. Go back and watch that movie.
He's talking about the Freemason symbolisms, and this is my problems with a hurricane is, once again, I don't know who watched the new Twister movie, but at the end, they literally destroy a tornado. And like I said, when I was talking about how in the movie they destroy a tornado with technology, I was referencing the hurricane on how they can, if you can destroy something or take the power away, then you can also reverse engineer that and power it. So that's my next thought. If these things are starting to read what we're inputting, how long or even currently can they start inputting into your thoughts? And then the whole idea or conception of hearing voices in my head, if they're already able to diagnose, program to the simplistic form of a phone, we're not talking about like some military program. We're talking about on a phone. If they can already download your thoughts and take those thoughts and turn them into literal ads. First of all, are they just downloading those thoughts of ads? Think about all the other thoughts you could have. Every other thought, this is programming and listening to and understanding. Every thought. And then once again, if you can download something, you can upload something.
You can literally be thinking about a bicycle and don't mention it, and you can open your phone up on Facebook, and what's the first suggestion?
So just like how we were all talking, oh, the phones are listening, and we were all freaked out about that, and then everybody started noticing, oh, yeah, I guess the phone can listen. We just got used to the phone listening, right, guys? We just got used to the phone listening to us and showing us ads over this whole entire time. We just got used to it, right? We're all under the acknowledgement that if we talk about a truck or anything, yeah, it's going to pop up an ad. Are we really going to get to the point where we're going to get used to this and okay with that? And then what's the next step? And that was my issue with Elon Musk and Neuralink to begin with, because he was going to, be able to make it to where people can literally be like Matrix, uploaded information, it was going to be all nice. And the initial push always has to be for the betterment to make, somebody who can't walk again. Oh, that sounds so great. But then at the same time, you can upload anything. You could, and technically a skill set from mind to hand to limb is null and void. You want somebody to drive a race car better than Kyle Larson, you just upload the program that allows him to. And you just put it into the Neuralink, and now he has the understanding and ability to drive a race car just as good as Kyle Larson. You're talking about the end of talent and individuality for equality purposes. It sounds so great. It sounds so packageable and nice. Everything's going to come across as nice. It's all about saving you. It's all about making things better. This is becoming knowledgeable. I mean, there's hundreds of comments. This has 2 million plays. Thousands of comments. There's 4,000 comments in this. 70,000 likes. Are we going to get used to this? Is this what we're going to be used to, ladies and gentlemen? And then what's next? Like I said, they're just reading your mind for ads. And if it's all about making money and all about ads, then why not just upload some thoughts to Impulse Buy? And at the end of the day, is this actual electronic, or is this a Freemason symbolism just like they do in the movies and everything? Is this a symbolism where, oh, it's the phone that's telling you or listening to you or trying to impulse you? Or is it literally the expose or the masking of a spiritual war? You could talk about that too. Is it from the spiritual domain? Is this just a symbolism of what's already is? So it's very interesting on how deep this could actually go. But for it to be acknowledged by so many people, me personally having the experience, I think we got to start drawing the line. I don't give a damn if Elon Musk tells me that it's for your betterment or your good. I don't give a damn if Trump comes out or whatever. When are these people going to lock some shit like this down? I have a problem. And I don't know if I'm alone in this, but I have a problem if a phone can read my mind. I have a problem with that. And I hope that you do too. That's worth standing up against and saying, hell no. But it's going to be good for security and things of those sorts. Eventually, I would assume. No, there would be no crime or nothing like that if the Big Brother can read everyone's mind and stop them before they think of doing a crime. If they think about doing a crime, then they can be stopped, correct? That's safer, way more safer environment. We don't have to worry about speeding on the highway. We can read your mind, and if you look and see that you thought of speeding, if you think of speeding, or if you're having the experience of speeding, then you just get a ticket in the mail. Because we know you did it. We read your mind. The extremities that this could go to is insane, ladies and gentlemen. But anyways, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you'll like the video. Comment below. I had to throw this in there at the end. It's just been on my mind. I have to speak what I think. And as always, be sure to subscribe. We will catch you next time, potentially at a racetrack, ladies and gentlemen. But anyways, we'll see you later. Trying my hardest to stay with the best, flexing young, on my chest.